Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/Entitled People. In today's episode, entitled brother sell my stuff and my parents defend him, so I sue him. Entitled woman hit me with a shopping cart. Being embarrassed in public. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. Entitled brother sell my stuff and my parents defend him, so I sue him. Sorry if my English is not correct, I am French. I am 23 years old and I am a very reserved person. I don't like to interact with other people, but I don't hate anyone. I have never been angry with a person because I assume that if you don't interfere with my life, everything is fine. I have, however, always been very close to my 17-year-old brother, even though he is very different from me, athletic, sociable, etc., and we have always shared our stuff since birth. Recently, he has started to become the little boss of the house, with his parents buying him everything he wants despite his catastrophic grades. He smokes, he drinks, and starts to force me to be mainly a cab driver. This puts a very bad atmosphere in the house, with my mother yelling at him a lot. Fortunately, I bought my dream computer with a lot of work, more than $5,000, and every night I lock myself in my room and coding all night long, or playing video games. It's a little bit my quiet time between my very tiring engineering studies and the atmosphere at home. Then comes my 6 months internship in a big city in another country, and at the beginning I live it very badly because I never left my small city. It was very difficult to live alone in an apartment, but after a few weeks I really changed, which surprised me. I enjoy going out with people, I feel more confident, and I even changed my clothing style to be more adult, and I love it. The bonus is that I've started working out since I don't have my computer in my spare time. At the end of my internship, I go back home and I find the same atmosphere as before and nobody notices my change of appearance. I ignore this, and when I arrive at night, I only want to find my computer to avoid the screams, but when I go back to my room it is not there anymore. So I ask my mother and she tells me that my brother sold it. I think at that point my brain just paused, and it was 10 seconds before I asked my mom if this was a joke. She says no and I start to see red. I teleport to my brother's room and ask him why. He answers that it was to buy sneakers and clothes, and I ask him again, explaining this time that I want to know why he sold my computer because I didn't give him the right to do it and that I always use it for work. He laughs and tells me that I can buy another one, and that $1,000 is nothing for me. When he tells me he's sold it for $1,000, it's worth $5,000. Normally I would have run away to my room to swear, but here I get angry and grab his laptop before destroying it on the floor. The noise brings back my parents and my brother yells at me, asking me what happened to me. I yell and explain that he had no right, that he is an ingrate and that I had worked for it, that it was mine. My father angrily tells me to keep my voice down and says that it's just a computer. I told him with all my anger to shut up and that he should realize that it is not normal to steal people's things. I leave angry because even my parents do not support me, and I go to the police to file a complaint. As the value of the goods exceeds $1,000, proven by the purchase order, my brother risks prison because he is now 18 years old. My parents put pressure on me to drop the lawsuit against my brother, but I don't want to be with them anymore, since they consider me a little less than nothing. But I am not afraid and I went to the end of the procedure, and my brother must give me back $5,000 plus pay back my lawyer. He should have to do public works to pay back his debt, but my parents paid for him. My whole family hates me more or less now and I cut off all ties with everyone. I am now living with a cousin and I'm about to graduate, so I will soon have a job. I'm in a hurry to leave and not see my family again, which doesn't bother me because of the way they considered me, and I don't think I was wrong, and that my action allowed my brother to question himself on the importance of work. My mother wanted to talk to me the other day, but I just told her that if she wants to be happy she should quit my dad, and I will be there for her. Hope she will make the good decision. Good for you. They'll be looking for you to take care of them when they're older because their son is off doing whatever after bleeding them dry. Keep NC and live your best life. That's when they find out they bet on the wrong horse. Of course, I will help you in your old age. I have a detailed plan to do that saved right here in my computer. Oops, guess not. Oh, well, good luck with the whole food and shelter thing. You did the right thing. You forced them to be responsible. You will not be able to change their behavior, but they will not be able to take advantage of you anymore. It always hurts when you have to cut your family off, but your well-being is more important. Your English is pretty good. It was probably accidental, but I'm now going to say teleport when I angrily enter a space. I hope you continue to grow without your family nonsense holding you back. Your brother will bleed them dry until they have nothing, then they will come running to you, all apologies, begging for forgiveness, expecting you to forgive them and support them. Don't fall for it at all, it's not even worth it. I have a question. In the beginning of your post you said that you and your brother have always been close. But then you go on to describe him as an entitled, spoiled little shit that doesn't respect you or your belongings. How come? I can't believe that your parents were alright with your brother stealing and selling your computer. As your brother's behavior has changed so quickly, I think that he may well be taking drugs as well as alcohol. His explanation of using the money he got from selling your computer doesn't make any sense to me. Take him and your parents to court and get them to buy the equivalent computer for you. Keep staying at your cousin's house, but make sure that you have all your other property out of your parents' house. Ensure you have all the critical paperwork, for example, birth certificate, etc. Entitled woman hit me with a shopping cart. I had just come out of the entrance of a busy grocery store with a full cart, waiting for cars to go by before I stepped into the parking lot. I see a woman exit the store behind me with a smaller cart. Next thing I know, her cart slammed into my back end. WTF? I turn around to find that she had taken her stuff out and just left the cart outside the entrance/exit. Did the cart just glide into me, or did she push it? I don't know, but there was a cart return just a few feet away. I saw her strutting nonchalantly and entitled across the parking lot. Who did she think was going to return her cart? Guess who did return her cart? Me. Most likely it would have migrated into the parking lot if my ass didn't stop it. How can people be so freaking rude? Hopefully she drops a bag and some glass shatters. And then she gets a flat tire. And she also trips on the doormat going into her house. I am lucky to have a parade ground voice, if needed, which has told a few lazy people to put their trolleys away in no uncertain terms. Scares them into the middle of next week and even works on Karens. I can guarantee that it wouldn't work here. Most have been raised by military parents who were strict AF. You would either be laughed at or ignored. I was putting my groceries in my car at the same time a lady next to me was putting away her groceries. I took my cart to the cart return area, and as I sat in my car, I saw her just leave hers in the middle of the parking space. I got out of my car, grabbed her cart, and aggressively stared at her as I put it away. I was walking out of a big box store a few years ago and see the guy parked next to me finish unloading his cart, then position it directly behind my Jeep. The timing was perfect. As soon as he sat his fat ass in his driver's seat, I arrived, moved his cart directly behind his car, jumped in mine, and backed out. As I did, I could see his head swiveling around. Not sure if he realized what happened and got back out to move it or just backed into it. Either way, I consider that event one of the highlights of my life. Next time someone leaves a cart unattended, push it and leave it behind their car before they back out. Should have pushed the cart into her car and said, "Excuse me, miss, this your cart?" You're way too nice. The correct thing to do in this instance is grab the cart and follow her to get to her car and park it neatly behind her vehicle. Then continue on your way. I think some people live in their own little world and have no idea the rest of us exist. Being embarrassed in public. So this just happened. To give you a little bit of backstory, I'm a 19 years old female who works full-time hours at a part-time job. I've been working hard these past few days without much break and just got off a 10-hour shift before this happened. One of my better days. After work I came up to the local Whataburger to wait on my BF to get off work. No makeup, dirty old work clothes, messy shaved head, short yet stocky build. I walked past this table of girls who were maybe 16 at most. They were the pretty popular types, new on brand clothes, nails, well done hair, full makeup, and super skinny. Walking by I smiled and thought, how cute. They remind me of my little sister, and never paid them mind up till the events of this story. When I come to Whataburger, my BF gets me a bowl of fries with bacon and cheese on them so I won't be hungry as I wait. As I sat down and ate I heard them talk. I didn't care or mind because it was none of my business what these girls talked about. I'm a grown woman and they're just some kids having fun. That was until I overheard some of the things they were saying. Now I can't determine everything they said, but I'll tell you the bits I caught. Dude, did you see her? Yes, she looks awful. Why does the look like that? She looks so weird. Her clothes are dirty. She's fugly. Now I didn't want to assume they were talking about me. For all I knew it could have been some girl on Instagram or TikTok. Unfortunately, however, my morbid curiosity took over and I gave them a glance to see two girls staring at me like I was an animal at the zoo. Suddenly, they started laughing and simultaneously I heard the girls say, "Oh my God, she heard you. Oh my God, she heard me." And following laughter. I decided to hide my face and look down. I wanted nothing to do with this. I worked so hard to get out of high school and even harder to escape bullies in middle school. I wanted to hide and disappear from the embarrassment and surprise that people were this indecent to others. After a moment, they left in a hurry and I looked up from behind my hand and just stared. My first thought was, wow. Least to say I was incredibly embarrassed. I don't believe people should treat each other that way, but one thing I know for sure is that middle school girls are some of the meanest people on the planet. Please, if you see someone like me in public, be nice. Or better yet, ignore them. Don't be like those girls in this story. If you're like me and you're struggling, it's okay. Smiley face. Beauty comes in how you treat others. Be your best self, smiley face. Thank you for reading my TED Talk, smiley face. EW. What's C** NTS? If it makes you feel better, that's how they look at the world, and nothing will ever meet their expectations. They are in for disappointing lives. PPPFFFT, but yeah, you're probably right. I hope they learn how to treat people with kindness. It's also how they look and talk about each other, behind their backs. One has a row with her parents and looks rough, doubt there is a shoulder for her to cry on, just comments on how rough she looks between her friends. Hugs kiddo. I always told my now 20-something boys, let these type of people teach you how you don't want to be in life. Still hurts and sucks, so spread more kindness to counter it. Oh honey, I'm so sorry that you had to live through that. But it gets better. Right about the time you reach age 30, you will realize that mean people like that have very small lives, and putting down others are the only way they can feel good about themselves. They don't matter. What they think doesn't matter. You have nothing to be ashamed of. Just go on with your wonderful life and enjoy. This happened to me, and I found out that my sister had the same epiphany around our 30th birthdays. You are wonderful. Huge hugs from me. I'm 38F, and I refer to these kinds of girls as having the Queen of Sheba mentality. As in, they seem to have this concept of they're all that and a bag of chips and everyone is supposed to cater to them as if they're the Queen of Sheba. I couldn't stand it when I was young. I have a stepdaughter and wouldn't tolerate that sort of behavior from her, not that she's ever acted that way. If I have additional daughters, I won't tolerate that kind of behavior from them either. You're working a ton of hours and were tired and beat. Little Miss Entitled was likely out with her similarly entitled peers after running up mommy's credit card at their fancy clothing store. Fast forward 3 years after they graduate and let life begin to beat them up a little bit. They'd be lucky to have your grace and determination, let alone your work ethic. You are a beautiful person who has a BF looking out for you with food, so you just keep trucking along, young lady, better days are ahead. Honey, the only ugly bipedal entities in your account of events are the shallow mean girls you encountered at the restaurant. One day, they're going to say something just as bad within hearing of their next unfortunate target, and that person may not react as you chose to. These types of horrible excuses for human beings look down on service workers, disabled, etc. And it's truly sad because they do so to make themselves feel superior. They may grow up to live charmed lives, but I've known several who didn't. As long as you are comfortable in your own self and understand your worth, that's all that's important. The judgments of a couple of airhead teeny boppers who have never worked a day in their lives, paid their own bills and rely solely on mommy and daddy to superficially primp and pamper them don't mean anything other than they have no kuth or manners. I'm so sorry this happened to you. My thoughts are that they wanted you to hear, and they wanted you to feel inferior. Don't. You have no reason to feel lesser than anyone else. I'm not afraid of confrontation and would have asked them what their problem was, and told them that my appearance is not their concern. I might have even moved close to them, and let out a huge burp, or a fart if I could manage that. Screw them. You live your life for you, not what anyone else thinks. I told my kids that you never know what someone is going through, keep your comments to yourself. I also told them, if someone does something like this to you, just smirk at them. 'Cause one, you don't have to talk to them, 2, they don't matter to you. Their opinion should matter even less, as in the don't. But if you talk like this to other people, expect for them to do it back, and you need to be ready to take what they dish out. Sorry this happened. Especially after working 10 hours. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.